Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, wondrous Propagandacast. We host Imperial Dane. We're going to be having a interesting 2 vs 2 right here on Sir Mosky. Yes, indeed, Sir Mosky, 2 vs 2. So definitely going to be a bit tense right here in this narrow village streets. And of course, another urge. Send me in your replays. God damn it. Reddit keeps patching, I keep losing replays. I barely get anyone, and a large bunch of them, as usual, are a bit, not quite as good. In one gentleman sent me in a replay lasting 7 minutes. What on earth is he thinking? Anyways, this one actually caused some large changes. There's a huge change to how much manpower you start with, plus Russian buildings are much faster to put up now. At least 50% faster. Anyways, lots of grenadiers. It would seem, of course, these tiny resources allows you to quickly get up troops, as Germans and the Russians, for that matter, start up with an early cash. Whatever, anyway, we shall be watching Meisternic and Nilon fighting for the Germans, for the Reich, for the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division. Hang on, Meisternic here with Spearhead, Jäger Armor and Joint Operations. Nilon with Assault Support, Festering Armor and Festering Support. Interesting. Stoffa with the Soviet Defensive Doctrine and CaptainObvious with Soviet Shock Army, Soviet Reserve Army and Defensive Tactics. And right then, early Dushka up, firing away right here at the Pioneers, inflicting grievous harm upon them. And meanwhile, the Communist trapping Pioneers within inside the house, trying to fight here for the fuel point. Both fuel points so far being viciously engaged. And this one rather aggressively locked down with a Dushka heavy machine gun. Second one arriving here, so Stoffa going pretty heavy on them. Get into the building, Heinz 9! Don't run in front of it! You didn't seriously think you could rush a machine gun like that? Barbed wire going up here for CaptainObvious. Well under fire from the Pioneers from several sides. A bit risky, might in fact end up losing the squad. Well, he suffers some rather serious harm. There we go. Combat engineers wiped out. CaptainObvious suffered the obvious losses. 3 Grenadier squads now. Mortars arriving here for Meisternic, pulling up the Granatenwerfer. While the Grenadier conscripts right here are under continued submachine gun fire. Dushka pulling back a bit, it seems. Grenadiers fighting up here. The second one also moving about. Stoffa seems a bit unsure where to aim his heavy machine guns for the time being. Conscripts arriving. More conscripts arriving. CaptainObvious seems obviously happy of conscripts. Commies making a move up here. Will there be any mines up? Noting, of course, that the Soviet Doctrine, of course, also has some early mines, which are also cheap, of course, on the anti-infantry still. So effective grenadiers here coming under fire from the Dushka. Still one there, not quite moving. More barbed wire, intent on basically sealing off the fuel point from any German advances. Interestingly enough, definitely an interesting idea. There we go, mortar. A second mortar up here for Meisternic. Looks like Meisternic is setting up a small mortar battery. And of course, initial resources can result in basically a heavier tier 1 without highly offsetting things, or perhaps some even fast attacking, or again more Pioneers thus grabbing more territorially. So in this case, we're seeing an increased field presence, and again, Meisternic focusing on what could be a small mortar battery. There we go, the Dushka forced out the premises after continued German mortar fire. In the meanwhile, a larger assault going in here. The barbed wire, of course, not fully covering, and thus they just walk through it. Although, of course, might be a bit uncomfortable.
What are your orders?
Taking up, not going on. And minesweepers up for Nilon. Also, of course, helps clear up that wire, but of course, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to be on guard for enemy mines. Mortar fire going on different angles. And of course, remember, I mean, even in a building, you might not be quite as safe from the Dushka as you'd like to think, as again, that is a heavy machine gun. That's only a wooden building. Lots of Molotovs following up here. A third mortar up here. The Germans are really bringing in an awful lot of light artillery. Not necessarily a bad idea, but of course means they also have to be sure to protect it properly. Russians burning up. Interesting enough, no light machine guns up here with Meisternic for some of his grenadiers. I definitely think that would be an idea. Russians gaining a large chunk of the map for the time being. Popping over here to Nilon. No doctrine from either. So far nothing from the Germans. Mortars here, of course, quite nicely exposed. Stoffa taking advantage of that. And there we go, a nice molotov from one of the mortars. Conscripts look like they're making a run for the house, but taking losses as they are in fact running there. South here being secured. More barbed wire up. This time though looks like the Germans set it up. So basically this is barbed wire island. A less festive and less piratey island. Laying down the mines, it would seem. Yes, indeed, to prevent any vehicular rushes. Good as but enough, he's going up for a support weapon company. I mean, thinking someone went defensive doctrine, which, by the way, is pretty much provides you with all the stuff that support weapon company can offer, just of course a different variants with different price tags. Oh, they got the Dushka, actually. Impressive. But still, I figured he might have gone for the special rifle command instead, adding in some additional, more elite infantry, perhaps some scout cars or snipers, but no. Stoffa adds instead to just go for some more stuff of the support weapony kind. Of course, again, the Germans with 3 mortars, 3 Granatenwerfern.
Soviet forces are engaging us! We have been promoted!
Conscripts advancing here, coming under fire. And a fire most intense and grievous grenades once more. Heavy machine gun fire again. They should consider repositioning, and you know, he should consider perhaps bombarding that house in advance next time. Since there's a seemingly high likelihood there's someone with a machine gun in there. There you go, pushing it. Minesweepers up from CaptainObvious as well. So both players, of course, reacting to such matters and, of course, preparing for it. Well done there. Splenderous. And the house here is finally suffering the wrath of the German artillery. There you go. Conscript squad went down to the rifle grenades. Mines up here from CaptainObvious, but German mines was already detected. So that certainly has no chance of doing anything. And we're seeing here an armored rush here for support armor corps. Hack also up here for Meisternic, but so far no Russian armor, and he's only moving forwards. Units suffering losses. Losses also being inflicted here on Nilon. Looks like Grenadier Squad had its life snuffed out. How tragic. Still no sign of a light machine gun on any of his Grenadiers, or flamethrowers of his Pioneers. In fact, no weapon upgrades for the Germans. I do feel that's something that's missing and should be dealt with. Maxim. Oh, the Russians didn't try to. The Germans didn't try to pick it up. Instead, the Russians got it back. And there go heavy mortar up to bombard the German mortars. Pioneers not doing too well in the south. Nilon needs to pull back. Their MG42 cleared out. Should quickly be seized upon here by CaptainObvious, obviously. And there we go. Irregular Soviet reserve doctrine has been chosen here by CaptainObvious, equipped with a large bunch of light machine guns. Apparently that seems to be their trick. They're basically, I suppose, we can call a small squad of infantry support crews. Since again they can either be items with Soviet or German light machine guns, they can lay down a lot of fire. While they might not be sort of fully stalwart in a full engagement, on the other hand they can be quite nice and imagine to support your infantry. But let's see how CaptainObvious makes use of them. So far, I mean, he was able to quickly clear out one mortar with their 2 DPs. Irregular, I suppose, referring to the fact they're sort of militia-type troops, not so much partisan troops, but still not exactly in their front-line troops. Already veterans you want, though? There we go, going for harassment. Well done there by CaptainObvious. Tank command up for Stoffa. Special Rifleman command up for CaptainObvious. Time factor pop. Oh, here to Stoffa. With his defensive doctrine. Rather short in infantry. I mean, he has suffered quite a bit.
HMG crew is ready.
And those Dushkas are not cheap. They cost a bundle. So does the heavy mortar.
Mortar crew ready.
And I suppose if he feels active threatened by armor, he can quickly pop in a 45mm anti-tank and a bit of action there. A continued mortar action going on here.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Panzer Grenadiers arriving here for one player, Meisternic. Pushing up to the south here. Irregulars moving up, and there we go, quick grenade. That is one of the things the irregulars have, and there we go. Pioneer squad wiped out. Veterancy too, they do seem to veterancy up fast, so of course the light machine guns will also quickly improve as they gain the accuracy bonuses there.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
So there we go. The irregulars are retreating, not partisans, but you know, militia sort of types, I suppose. With the Russians did have a few of cases as well.
Heads down, engineers. The enemy fire incoming.
Or I suppose could be,
Engineer squad.
I don't know, something else. Anyways, finally going MD4 to recruit, but opened up here by Nilon with a light machine gun. Quickly ended. Then it's pushing up, encountering the Dushka and suffering for it. Veterans one already up on both mortars here. This one not quite as much, of course, that's been cleared out. Panzermen is doing what they can here for Meisternic with the Sturmgewehrs. And the heavy mortar, in fact, might get engaged. It's setting up. There we go. Clear it out with a bundle grenade. A geballte Ladung there now. A bit too slow there. I think I missed an opportunity in actually getting it. What a shame, what a shame.
Ready for action. We're under attack.
And a Sturmgeschütz has arrived for Nilon and the 16th Panzer Grenadiers. Conscripts almost getting wiped out there. Conscripts in return suffering a bit there.
Okay, that's the last one.
And cleared out.
Standing by.
Oh, nice engagement right here. Lots of PPSH-41s here for CaptainObvious and his Serb troops. The Soviets of the... Oh, actually, I didn't think I had mentioned a force for them. Oh well. 215th Rifle Division versus 16th Panzer Grenadiers. Stuke here blasting away. 1 kill already. Firing away most merrily. They're not having much luck actually hitting anything. T-34 arrives here for Stoffa. And the heavy machine gun here hiding in the church ruins. Doing quite nicely. Mortar left behind again. Heavy fighting to get all the victory points. Certainly the Russians are dominating in that regard. Though their pioneers moving up the other flank to help deal with that.
Enemy mortar.
S-35 here only guided by a single squad of conscripts. That's not so grand looking.
T-34 crude loaded.
Russians pushing up on the right flank. That's good. That's quite nice and open. Could allow for a full push there. I think that definitely should be exploited if possible.
Mortar fire incoming.
Rifleman ready.
T-34 reporting.
MG, keep your heads down.
They will run out eventually.
Waiting for your command.
T-34 here.
Conscripts quickly popping into the house. Irregulars taking territory for the motherland.
AT gun is ready for combat.
Or whatever group they're fighting for.
Enemy contact. Get down! Grenade!
Lots of action all over the place. Not sure why Meisternic has so much infantry up there. Seems a bit pointless when all the fighting is going on in the centre. Stu slowly crawling forth. MD4 to recruit, might want to pull it back. It's not looking to do it. There we go. The regulars moving forwards again. T-34 taking the shots here. And there we go. The C-34 MD opening up. And there we go. The regulars getting off another grenade, clearing out the MD42 once more. Not too much luck there for Nilon.
Contact with enemy infantry. HMG crew is ready.
Forces bundling up there.
Has 300 points.
The regulars pulling back under the threat of Stug firepower. Back time to pop over to CaptainObvious. Quick corner on the squad. He's also soon might get close access there to rapid conscription, which definitely could help him. He's got very little infantry, so rapid conscription might prove beneficial in regards. It could provide him with additional conscript squads at the cost of munitions, just a bit of manpower, and of course now a heavy howitzer going up, so clearly setting up some artillery firing. That could work out quite nicely if he can aim it the correct way. Another MD recruit in front of the regulars again, this time though less luck in knocking it out.
They are shooting at us!
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Lots of vicious fighting. Advancing across the left flank, we actually see some bits have been mined here with anti-personnel mines. Can't seem to tell where. Which only seems to have claimed the life of a few Germans up there. Good job. Country continuing up the centre here under threat of intense mortar fire. Definitely not looking too good there. And there we go, the 152mm howitzer opening up. Dreadful stuff. The one caught in it. Mortar awfully close to the front line with nothing covered. And there we go, Panzerkampfwagen 5 up for Meisternic. Conscripts with the PVH-41s. Panzergrenadiers advancing but quickly suppressed by the Dushka. And then under fire here from the conscripts. Not looking good, not looking good. Need to retreat them, Meisternic. Need to retreat them. Rückzug. Panzer 4 arriving here to support the 16th Panzer Grenadiers. A Katyusha up for CaptainObvious. There we go, the Katyusha lets loose. Panther roams forward, determined. And the mortar crew takes a few rockets to the face. But at least we'll need to retreat in the face of this Russian advance. The regulars moving up here to support, it would seem. Almost veterancy free, actually. Doing quite alright. There we go. Panzerkampfwagen 5 from the H-85. Russians have now dug in the centre. Veterans are one on the Dushka. Not an awful lot of field guns, so there was one. And no additional anti-tank guns to say support. Russians still dominate most of the map. The Germans are contained, not looking too good for them. Meisternic's Panther advances, but is constantly threatened here under fire from the field gun and S-35 down to half health. Damage engine on top. Howitzer firing into the rather enclosed area. But we see here in response, Nilon has his own howitzer up. And there we go, counter-artillery. He's firing on the Soviet howitzer. Meisternic had placed his howitzer obviously a bit too close to the edge of his base, so the enemy howitzer could actually hit it. And the response obviously came here from the German artillery. And oh, it's actually still standing, in which case they probably should have repaired. Light anti-tank gun arriving there, the M42. Pack 40 overwhelmed, but Panther 4 and Stu and Panther doing what they can to hold back the Soviet infantry, unleashing death and destruction. And popping back here to Meisternic, who has still not chosen a doctrine. We're 20 minutes into the game. Not really good to be waiting that long to choose a doctrine. In particular, by now they should know what doctrines their opponent has chosen in response. I mean, there's not really much an excuse to say, you know, I'm waiting for my opponent to reveal theirs. Stug needs to be moving a bit further. There we go. Nice hit. Veteran 2-1. Target weak point might be an idea. Target weak point. Destroyed engine. Careful. Pull back the Stug before it's too late. Pull it back. T-34 might still get it. Move or target weak point there. Remember. Oh, there we go. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. Careful, careful, just retreat. Use the time target weak point brought you to get the devil out of there. And using the T-34 veterans want to take territory. Excellent as well there in response. And this Duke is almost veteran too. Lovely. Panzer's leaving assault here versus the parts of the regulars. The regulars should stop up here. They should have waited with their grenade. Rather unfortunate timing here from the regulars. Need to retreat. And there we go, veterans flee, retreat, retreat. Anti-tank grenading the Panzer IV before making the retreat. And veterans flee for the Panzer Grenadiers. Two Katyushas up here for CaptainObvious, adding in a lot of artillery again. They're basically bombarding this narrow strip of land. Veterans 2 on the German howitzer, by the way. And the Russians need to split out, need to stop climbing up things around here, because that's only making it easier for the howitzer. Then again, might be bombarding stuff up here.
Watch for counterattacks.
Tense fighting continues. And there we go, we actually see rapid conscription being utilised by CaptainObvious. That's fun. In which case he definitely should be pushing as hard as he can with his infantry. SU-5 though getting outmaneuvered. The Panther arrived and did the trick. Nothing left to cover its flank. That was a bit unfortunate. Panther 4 advancing as well. Constant trying to get off anti-tank grenades. T-34 could do the repairs. Might want to be in these consider retreating this squad before it's wiped out. And a Panzerwerfer. Conscript taking some nasty losses. And there you go, 1 free squad arrived. Trying to knock it out. I think if he's using Katyushas, he should take the concentrated barrage instead of the regular barrage. I mean, remember, Soviet artillery has the ability to fire a much more precise and destructive round or barrage depending on the weapon. For example, the heavy mortar as well, which can, for example, I mean, with a heavy mortar, you can actually wipe out a squad if you aim it correctly. In this case, they should basically aim with concentrated fire from howitzer and mortar and the Katyusha on the howitzer. That way, try to knock it out. They should not try with regular barrages because they're going to be too inaccurate. Looks like another Katyusha. No, it does not look like it. Irregulars veterans advancing. Germans making good progress up the centre and push back the Soviet defenders under that intense artillery barrage from the howitzer. And of course, there's also a Panzer nearby to help. Still no doctrine from Meisternic. Come on. Mine went off. Didn't do much of the Stug. This Duke, on the other hand, is in a lot of trouble. And there you go, Panzer IV moving in to flank the SU-5. Partisans, or irregulars, get off the anti-tank grenade. Lovely. Keep calling them partisans because they look like them, pretty much. My apologies. SU-5 failed to penetrate. Centre, though, has been recaptured by the German army. 16th Panzer has managed to push through with support from the 5th Panzer Division, it would seem. And smoke going down to cover the retreat of the Panzer IV. Excellent. Overall, though, it rather seems like 25 into the game, he finally chooses the doctrine. Not really good, gentlemen. Not really good. That could have been much better. And then he proceeds to choose Jaeger armor. Really? You absolutely had to choose Jaeger armor, didn't you? Ugh. I'm absolutely loathing this doctrine because it always ends up being absolutely rubbish used. So, oh dear. Anyways, currently chasing from the Germans. They finally managed to break through here, but they've taken quite a beating. Meisternic definitely needs to replenish his forces, particularly infantry, and he went Jaeger armor. Couldn't he have gone for the spearhead doctrine? Kind of some smoke for his tanks to help them keep alive, and gun himself, for example, the Tiger fragmentation bombing runs. You know, something useful, and I also like more likely to be used because he's definitely not going to be using half the abilities here, I wager. Looking over here at Nilon, he's on the other hand got a much better force. Got more armor, got more infantry, he's got a howitzer. Though he's also got plenty of stuff so far could use, but it's not using the half-track relief infantry combined with extra force, and tech artillery would definitely be excellently used if timed correctly. But otherwise, I mean, you know, he's got a much better standing force. I think, you know, he could benefit from a proper assault with the relief infantry backing it up, you know, get some extra presence, perhaps, you know, recapture this part of the map and then dig in there with the Osttruppen holding up, you know, vital positions. That's something to keep in mind for the Germans overall. I mean, keep pushing. Don't overextend yourself, don't waste units in silly ways, and most of all for Nilon, he needs to get some more pioneers out to keep his tank force moving, or at least assault gun force moving with a tank in support, because several of them are going to be close to Veterans 2, and definitely they should have everything done to keep them going. Otherwise that's going to be an utter waste. For the Russians, things are looking a bit less good. They've just taken a lot of beatings, they've just been pushed back. So definitely they need to regain some control, and again, I rather think that target should be again through some precision strikes from either Katyusha than Howard's mortar to try and knock out the German artillery first. Get that thing out of there. With that out, the right Germans should have a lot less offensive and defensive firepower. Definitely should be a bit in trouble. So I would strongly advise that. Otherwise, focus right now on securing this part of the map. Perhaps launch a small diversion assault into this area, but they should rather focus on trying to regain this, perhaps also smaller forces launched into here to sort of drag away some German attention from there. But overall, they should not try to attack from a too broad front at the moment. I don't quite think they have the resources to pull it off, considering the losses they lost. I mean, for CaptainObvious, he's down to very few infantry. He even lost one of his regular squads. He's lacking on fuel. I mean, the Russians haven't made any use of fuel caches, for example. Either they haven't been able to really hold on to the fuel points for long. Either it would seem so. I mean, they need something a bit extra. But for Mr. Obvious, I mean, more tank destroyers. But otherwise, you know, more firepower. I think he should consider back taking over to support Weapon Company, getting a field gun of his own. I mean, he might also have benefited from actually, you know, using his Special Rifle Command at one station with a sniper or with some penal battalion troops, but that seems a bit too late now. But, you know, he definitely needs more tank destroyers at this stage. That's really the best I can suggest. You know, try to keep them alive. Don't fritter them away on less successful and silly assaults. Also, this Panzer really shouldn't be up that close. Also, T-34 up for anyone's use. I definitely think the Germans should just grab it and repair it and have it join the fight. But over to Nilon and back to the fight.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
Artillery here trying to catch
To drop smoke.
the Katyusha. A bit of quiet. Slow advance going on here from Stoffa.
Orders.
Panzer Weapon Barrels going into the centre. Oh, conscripts taking losses. Veterans 2 for the Stuka at the same time. HJ farming in from the flank. T-34 swing up from the front. Panther gun is marching up, getting pinned down in the muck. Not good. Panther ramming, no machine gun upgrade on it. It's enough. Katyusha needs to pull back. It's almost close to getting wiped out. Stuka here getting repaired. Veteran 2, Panther 4 could also need repairs again. And the Stuka's about to get wiped out. Nilon clearly hadn't thought about defending it properly. covering its flank. Panzers for some reason just charging in, getting murdered. Not good, not good. Stu needs to get out of there. The only thing keeping alive right now is a shack that's in the way. And the Russians are just trying to shoot their way through it. Also conscripts with a light machine gun. Situation is looking a bit dreadful. More irregulars arriving here for CaptainObvious.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And Stug out of control. Good night.
We have lost a panzer.
Veterans infantry field gun moving up. And more Katyusha fire. Veterans infantry, by the way, on the German howitzer. Definitely nasty work there. Another howitzer going up here. That's dangerous work here for CaptainObvious. Dangerous work. Oh no! Why didn't he even cancel it while under fire from the enemy's artillery? That was just a waste of resources.
Sorry for them. Enemy squad destroyed.
CoH2's in the way. Panzer IV finally combat ready again.
Reinforcements complete.
A single T-34 attacking here might be able to clear out this howitzer and save the day for the Russians, or at least moderately save it. But looks like Stoffa's rushing ahead on assault with his T-34. He does manage to get the Panzerwerfer at the same time. Counter intense scrutiny there from the Panther firing away. Veteran 2 on the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Ach du lieber. Right inside being secured by Grenadiers. Irregulars forced away here by the Panzer IV. Veteran 2. Oh, but it went out of control. Crashing into a nearby shed. Absolutely dreadful. The howitzer continues to fire away. So Nilon is back to having 2 assault guns. The primary armored vehicle of any Panzergrenadier Division. The Stug. Stug bouncing up here. Cover doesn't get too close, trying to get the H-35 there. H-35 though, Veteran 2, which does mean it has a higher rate of fire amongst other things. Fighting away there with a grim vengeance. There goes Stug down.
One of our panzers has been destroyed.
Nasty losses there to the 16th. The 3rd Rifle Division continues to fight on despite the losses inflicted. Lots of veteran conscripts here for both Soviet players. There we go, Panzer going to force retreat in the face of these heavily equipped conscripts with a light machine gun and PPSH-41s.
You have a fire mission?
We have taken.
Russians building up a large armoured force. Barning here, the Panther Veteran 2 still there, the Stug is, but otherwise the Germans in fact a bit lacking in the armoured department. The T-34 still hasn't been recruited and for example repaired. I'm actually a bit surprised at that, you know. I figure, you know, a free tank would, you know, be worth something, but apparently not.
Territory secured.
Dushka opening up on the Grenadiers there. And the Irregulars coming under intense scrutiny up the light heavy machine gun and some Grenadiers. They need to be careful. They're not that tough. They can do a lot of damage, but they can't necessarily take it on. There we go, the grenade off. Doing a bit of nice damage there. And there we go, opening up on the Grenadiers. Veterans who won. So there we go. Irregulars continue to move on. And 3 T-34s advancing. SU-5 moving up the left flank, the other one repaired. No, don't make a frontal assault. Try to hit the flank instead. Try to get the howitzer to try to draw the Germans away from the front line. Field gun recruit by Germans. And there we go. Turning the field gun around. Panther advancing in. Pulled back. The T-34s pulled them back. Already 1 damage. SU-5s not enough in numbers. Try to pull up something on the left flank. This is quickly turning out to be a rather poorly conceived assault here from the Germans. Still moving up to support the Panther. 1 T-34 down, ramming, shocking the crew of the Panther, but ultimately not knocking it out. Serving only as an easy target for the Panther and the Stug. There we go, kaput. Pioneer spotting the T-34 time to pop over to Stoffa, who just lost most of his armoured force in one cruel engagement. Irregulars getting gutted. Front of all of this. They managed to get off an anti-tank grenade, and what is this? Artillery of some kind. Sect artillery going down. But can't quite cover the victory point though. And a bombing strike from the Stuka, which ultimately didn't manage to do much except render the point neutral, which is one thing the Stuka strike does. Panther advancing in right between the 2 Su-35s. Rather bold maneuver, but does so with blitzkrieg, although with an engine damage, which means it doesn't do too much. 1 Su-35 down. Panther trying to get out of there, might succeed. Use tracking, checking out to see it, but no, we see here a nice maneuver. Popping smoke down to cover the retreat of the Panther. Well played there by Nilon, covering his teammates' Panzerkampfwagen.
Our unit count is increasing.
Regulars pressing up the left flank, engaging here with some grenadiers and quickly running away, unsurprisingly.
Yes, comrade.
And the howitzer just remains an absolute menace.
Fresh meat has arrived.
Additional Stug arriving. T-34, other Stug in need of repairs rather seriously. More fire from the Katyusha.
Conscripts have arrived. They see us.
Looks like we're going to be able to pick up at least one light machine gun there from the irregulars. Pasca's making a rush here for the Dushka, and they clear it out. Next, the heavy mortar. T-34 arrives there to try and cover it. Looks like they succeed. But the infantry is now in a bit of a nasty situation. They need to pull back. They're caught between a lot of veteran conscripts. Heavily equipped, and they've got another rapid conscription up for CaptainObvious. Been some time since I've actually seen rapid conscription used, to actually see it used, so it's actually quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. And now the Deutsche Panzer T-43 is ready. Certainly doing that move job, stopping the Soviets. Conscript taking losses. Still in trouble. Conscript continues to advance up. And the T-34 in a dangerous situation. 2 Stugs running away. T-34 flanking the other T-34. There we go. Flanked field gun. And anti-tank grenade on the T-34. Field gun goes down. Stug definitely doing a great job there. T-34 close to going down. Soviets pushing up in the left flank, finally using tracking as well. Good job there, CaptainObvious. T-34 went down. H-35 might get the scoop, but no, the H-35 is actually shooting on something else entirely. Not sure what he's doing here. And now actually getting outflanked here by the Panther. Oh, no. Might get Panther Veterancy 3 here. Nope, not quite. T-34 though is actually Veterancy 1. Conscript score replenished.
Enemy forces capturing supplies.
Another grenade here.
Conscripts under attack! You have orders?
Continue advances, continue struggle for the victory points. Duska has not been recruited neither by the Russians by the Germans. At least not yet anyways. Though I'm sure that could quickly change.
Our territory is falling into enemy
Oh,
hands.
that was a poorly positioned Panther here from Meisternic.
Who wants to be next?
And sector artillery right on the victory point. Conscripts in into retreat. Panther left almost down. Conscripts with a puncher strike might try and take out that T-34. I would definitely suggest it, but no, they go for the Panther Panther first. And Panther going up here against the SU-85 here on its own. Veterancy 3 Panther moves faster, shoots faster. Also moves faster, of course Veterancy 2 has a much faster turning turret, and very nimble, very maneuverable, very dangerous tank. This Veterancy 3 Panther, and there we go. SU-85 down.
Awaiting command. Taking fire!
And rushing ahead here.
Our HQ is under
Well,
attack.
that's fast. Self-protection up meanwhile.
HMP crew is ready. Enemy contact! Fire incoming!
Lots of nasty fighting going on there. Victory points falling to Germany. Despite serious protests from the Russians. More Su-35s, more field guns.
Anti-tank gun is
Now
ready for
machine
action.
guns lying across the place, and
Machine gun ready.
lots of Dushkas up, and the field gun arrives
We
there.
are losing territory.
Oops, CaptainObvious, rather forgot about him, I'm afraid. But already too late, so let's pop back here to Meisternic. Indians versus conscript. Oh, heavy mortar actually hit his own troops, making it easier for the Nilon to take them out. And artillery going down here on the main arterial road. Bad news for the Russians trying to move troops down here. Panther advancing up the west flank, and we're seeing a Sturm Panther 4 arriving for Meisternic.
Enemy is taking our territory.
That was too close! Taking fire! Enemy killed!
Russians are not looking in a winning position at all at this moment. Suffered too much. Much too much. And this veteran C300 just continues to unleash utter damnation upon the enemy. 41 kills, 2 vehicle kills, 2 structure kills, lots of infantry kills. Panther continues as well, rushing in. There we go, finding some engine damage. Now the rear is exposed level to the Panther strike, all of a sudden running no protection, all of a sudden it goes very quickly down. So that was perhaps less well handled there by Meisternic, and probably he feels confident now. Another issue power to the rear, right in the rear. We'll probably have to get the Panther then. And what is this? A Stuka bombing strike! All of the infantry that Stoffa had right there, dead! Good lord. Panther down, too late with the smoke to cover it. That's just terrible. Amidst all the smoke, you see just lots of dead corpses, medics running around, but they've already given up on them. And Nilon's C-34's actually managed to reach veteran T2.
You're in the ship now!
Yeah! Standing by! Schützen, we've been promoted!
That's doing what they can, coming under fire. Storm Panzer 4 rolling ahead.
Stuka bombers available at your directive.
And the stronger shots at the front as well.
Schützen in the fire! Heavy Panzer, ready for orders.
Panzergrenadiers will have to retreat. And Storm Panzer 4 landing a nice hit right there. Also noting price changes to the Panther and the Storm Panzer 4. They cost more fuel now, less manpower. Felt that also warranted a mention. There we go, field gun down. The Russians seem pretty much utterly crushed there. And there we go, game over. A loss for the Russians, a victory for Germany. Although rather close at times. The Germans definitely could have made much better use of the doctrine, in particular Meisternic. Rather is not, I would say, worthy of the title Meister when it took him 25 minutes to choose a doctrine and then proceed to choose Jaeger armor, which he then only used the Stuka bombing strike from. No. That definitely needs improvement. It's definitely not okay. Nilon, on the other hand, made better use of doctrine. He actually chose one earlier, but then again, he could also use a lot more abilities. He never used the half-track, never really used, for example, the relief infantry, but I suppose he did do more with it, which is grand. Germans overall made reasonable good use of their armor, although sometimes they were a bit cocky. For example, Meisternic had a tendency of running in armor, quickly getting knocked out, but overall they handled nicely. The Russians, on the other hand, tended to handle a bit like a bludgeon. For example, again, they'd move in their T-34s through narrow streets where they really couldn't get the numbers advantage on it, instead of, say, attacking through the south and again getting that howitzer. And that was really one of the Soviets' main failings. They never really made any serious effort to knock it out. They fired a few barrages, but never anything focused, and they never sent even one tank in to try and destroy it. Had they done that, they'd probably have succeeded. All of a sudden, the Germans would have looked a lot weaker. Instead, for example, CaptainObvious didn't pay attention and, for example, lost a second house just by building it while under bombardment. That's not really very healthy. I mean, he made good use of the reserve army doctrine, though. I mean, he pretty much made use of every ability, I think. I mean, actually had some reasonably good irregulars out. But, you know, there were still some flaws there. He could also have done better with his S-35s. He also had the problem, he never had more than one at a time. They certainly weren't covering each other, which made it easier for any Germans to quickly outmaneuver it. That's a bit of a problem. They could have done better use of mines. There was only a few anti-infantry mines. There was no serious mining beyond that, and that, I think, was another problem here for the Russians, something they should have done something about. Stoffa, I think, you know, again, he should have gone for the Special Rifle Command instead, you know, tried using some of his light anti-tank, instead gunned some lead infantry out, and that matter. I mean, neither, he didn't even use his Special Rifle Command at all. That also could, you know, have been a bit improved. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a thing or two or three from it. If you did, want to subscribe, hit a friends. If you didn't, well, why not replay me on? I really need a lot of replays now, so just keep sending them in. But also, please keep checking to ensure that there's actually something worth watching. But this is Imperial Dane saying cheers.